Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Before I start, up here, for those of you who go back a little while, when we first got a spike on here, I remembered that either this one or this one is either Sweet Sugar or Shelob Tolkien. And when this one put up a spike, lots of people said, oh, that'll be the Shelob Tolkien. Yeah, I beg to differ. That looks remarkably like an Oncidium spike to me, with buds that are probably going to be yellow. So I would say that's Sweet Sugar. Buds need to get quite a lot bigger if they're going to be Shelob Tolkien, let's put it that way. Just coming along here, the old twinkle spikes are pushing on quite nicely now. Got several on this one. Three. Got one on this one, only one, but it looks like it's going to be quite a good one. Two or three on that one up there. And then this one is not a twinkle, but whatever it is we're going to find out soon. But the spikes are growing very long, and it looks like they're branching out as well. So we may be able to identify that. That came from Jeff's. And then the tiny twinkle up here has finally started to push some more spikes out, because up until now it's only had this one, albeit a nice branching one. So we got twinkle time will probably be in about 5 weeks, 6 weeks. No, maybe a little less than that. Some are starting to show the actual buds now. Once you see the buds, it's at least they're progressing, getting near to flowering. Yeah, I just wanted to say that everything's getting a bit much at the moment as far as keeping the videos going every day is concerned. I'm going to have to cut it down a bit. And we had a man came round today to do the energy performance certificate. That's to say how well your place is insulated and things like that, because you have to give that information by law now when you sell a property. So he was here a while. I had to move stuff and get ready for him because he needed to get up in the loft and various stuff like that. So he's gone now. I've got the first set of viewings on this property tomorrow. A whole stream of people coming in. I've got a meeting tonight where I've got to do a talk. I've also got the Orchid Society's magazine. I've got everything that needs to go in it. I just haven't started it yet. And I mean, there's probably at least a whole day, if not 2 days worth of work there. And I did make an assurance a while back that I would try and have it done before Christmas. Well, the days are getting gobbled up at the moment. Yeah, and I mean, we're not far away from the first now when I got to go and get my keys. And take on a whole new set of bills and things like that. Although it sounds like the agency's done most of the work there. The council tax, so that's local government, the gas and the electricity and the water, they just deal with. They basically change the customer name from the previous tenant to me as of the 1st of December. So that's all done. The internet, I said, don't let me do that, because I'll do that as a transfer of house. And I don't want that on the 1st. I don't want my internet at the other property before I've moved in. So I want that delayed, so that I can get that sorted out. And then Hannah's down next weekend to help with packing and stuff. It's also our first Christmas do next Saturday. And then another Christmas do the following Saturday. It's just getting, from somebody who has a calendar that's blank month on end, this is all getting a bit full up at the moment. There's stuff to do. And a lot of these things, they need some thinking about and preparation in some cases. So, yeah. I mean, it's like tonight. We are desperately trying to get sound into the speaker system. That again, I have the sound system, so I have to take that along and set it up and pack it up and bring it home. But basically, their idea now is that we will have some presentations at the meeting that are still Zoom. And when they first said about that, I said, oh, you'll have trouble with the sound. Well, what do you mean? I said, well, when we've had Zoom meetings in the past, we're all on our own laptops or phones, yeah? and we can hear people when they speak because it's all connected up. I said, if you've got somebody sat in their lounge doing a Zoom presentation, the sound will be on your laptop. How are we all going to hear that then? Oh, I hadn't thought of that. No, exactly. So I'm taking my laptop tonight because I don't want to leave anything to chance. I know that my presentation plays on my laptop, so I will take my laptop to play it on, and I can connect up to the projector fine. So I should do all that. But I'm also going to take my little gadget to demonstrate the fact that you can take sound straight from a laptop into the sound system. I'm going to try it out in a minute. But basically, I've got a USB gadget. Just plugs into one of the USB ports and it converts basically to theatre sound, or pretend theatre sound. So it takes whatever noise the laptop is making and sends it down some wires to my theatre sound system. So I'm going to see if I can just plug that in, and if so, then on the BOS laptop they could use my gadget, but they'll have to configure it, because it is effectively a USB sound device which has to be configured in. And sometimes that causes problems because there's not necessarily an internet to get any software from. But that's all been changed now. There is internet at the place where we meet. So we'll see how we get on. But it's all faffing around, and it's all worries and things to do. There's so many people, they'll just drive there, they'll walk in, they say hi, they sign in, they have a chat to people, and they sit down, and then they get up and go at the end. And they've done nothing. They haven't had to prepare anything or get anything ready. They just turn up and expect it to all magically happen. Which it usually does, but it's due to efforts on other people's part. So as I say, I can't guarantee when videos are going to be now. I'm going to be fine for this Sunday. The Sunday chat will be fine. Next weekend, probably not. I'll be busy packing. Hannah's down for the sole purpose of packing and taking stuff over to the new place by the carload and getting as much done in that weekend as we can. So, it's going to get a bit thin in places. And also, once I get the keys on the 1st, I'm going to start taking some stuff over. I'd like to think I can do a couple of trips a day, and I can get a fair old bit in the, the estate car. What do you call those in foreign? Station wagon, I think, isn't it? A car with a Humpty bit on the back for putting stuff in, rather than putting people in. So there's a lot going on. It is that time when all this was anticipated, and now it's like happening. As I said, I've been watching the website for the agency. I've been watching the people booking their appointments. There's 6 appointments booked for tomorrow and 2 pending, so they're awaiting confirmation. So there could be 8 people to look at the place tomorrow. So it's all happening now. It's all starting to get a bit real. I always remember the best statement of everything getting real I ever heard was when I did my parachute jump. You do an awful lot of training on the ground, falling over sideways the other way, falling over backwards. You do an awful lot of falling over, which is practice for when you hit the ground, when you come down. And basically the guy repeated on several occasions, said, and when you get to 200 feet, you need to brace yourself, get yourself in your landing position, and eventually, because nobody else did, I looked up and said, how exactly the hell do we know when we hit 200 feet on the way down? He said, it's when everything becomes real again. And it did magically happen, just like that. Up until that point, looking down at the ground, it looked like a map. And then all of a sudden, the trees had height, the land had shape, and apparently that happens at 200 feet. And then the next thing that happens is you hit the ground, preferably gently, but all good fun. So this is all becoming real. So just a quick chat today. I'm going to show that. Let's see if I can get it in a bit of sun. Can I find some sun? Yeah. These little pinguiculars, I don't see why everybody shouldn't have one of these. The blooms are actually absolutely gorgeous, and they have a function. You know, the plant has a distinct function to actually catch the flies, which it does a good job at. Now that's not the best one actually. Which is the best one? Ah, the best one's over here. Flies, lots of flies. Yeah, so it does the job, and they're attractive blooms, very attractive blooms. Usually shades of sort of violet, lilac-y type colours, but you can get them almost white. You can certainly get red, although I haven't got one. And I think they're quite attractive plants. I'm going to have to repot these soon. Well, I want to split them and repot them because they're overcrowded now, so the leaves are all overlapping and they lose their attractiveness because the rosette doesn't show so much. So I'd like to separate them out, and that may be the things that I'll sell next spring, is the split up pinguiculars. The reason I haven't done it is I can't get the flipping silver sand that I want. Lots of places say they sell silver sand, and when you look at it, it's yellow. And it's not the true stuff that I want. The silver sand that I want is what it says on the tin. It's silver. Now, I do know where I can get some of that in the wild, but it's not exactly ideal weather for going to that place at the moment, because to get to it, it'll be wet, like welly boots wet, and some of it could be deep. But I need to get across the wet bit to get to where the land rises up and where the silver sand actually is. It's another quite rare environment. It's basically a heathland type environment, so it's heather and conifers, you know, pines, things like that. But the top surface of the soil is very fine silver sand. Whereas normally where heather grows, you get a peaty-based thing, you know, soil top surface. So it's quite an unusual environment, and it's quite special because the one of our native reptiles, the sand lizard, endearingly named, because it buries its eggs in the surface of that silver sand, which heats up quite nicely in the sun and keeps them at a nice even temperature, so that they hatch. So yeah, let's go and try and get some of that sometime. I don't fancy venturing out, but anybody with any sense isn't going to be venturing out far. We got a storm coming in, a named storm, and it looks quite vicious as well. We often get yellow warnings and we get amber warnings. We got a red warning this time, right down the northeast coast. Severe gales and torrential rains and turning to snow. And some of that snow might just possibly make it down here. Well, that we can do without, but I like to see it, but I don't want to be in it. So yeah, I mean, I might be going to the meeting and, well, more likely coming home from the meeting in torrential rain and a gale tonight. Again, which I can do without, still. Such dedication, that's what we do, you know. Anyway, I've waffled on enough. As I say, I've got things to do, and it's all starting to get a bit, you know, I'm having trouble relaxing. That's what it really comes down to, on the grounds that if I relax, I sit there thinking I should be doing something. You know, you can't be doing something all the time, but when I'm not doing something, I'm thinking about what I should be doing, which is nearly as bad as doing it. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Waffled on enough. It's actually sunny at the moment, but the sun is setting fast. It's going to be down behind that roof in about 20 minutes, and that'll be it. You probably can't see it, but the sun's there, and the roof is there, the roof line, and then it drops, goes along and comes up for the next house. It sets in between those two houses, which prolongs the light on this side for quite a bit. But soon the day will be short enough that it won't even do that. It'll set behind that first house. So we won't get this nice bright patch in the afternoon like we get now. So anyway, see you next time. Enough waffle.